So somehow I knew I'm not going to crack Microsoft at that point in time. I was not that prepared, because the guys who were going to crack it were, and Microsoft, I think, gave a minimum GPA requirement that you need this much to be even sitting in the interview. And I missed it by, I think I knew that I'm not going to be there. 8.95 I had, and 9 was the GPA requirement out of 10 for you to, CGPA requirement for you to even sit for the interview. So then I started thinking, okay, if not Microsoft, then where? And then when IBM came for the placements, even though there were so many other options, Infosys, Mindtree, Accenture, in those days HP, Goldman Sachs, and a lot of companies came, I was a little bit focused on IBM. And when the interview date came, I interviewed. I had a good written exam, and so they sent me back to the hostel. Whereas everybody had 7 rounds, 5 rounds of interview, they called me directly to the final this thing, because my written exams were very good. And then there were two people on the other side of the table, very senior, white hair, and these are IBM people who have been working in IBM since the 70s, so like 25 years experienced in IBM. And one of them say, while interviewing, they were like, they realized, okay, this guy is what whom we want. They were going to
Mm-hmm.
offer me, but they also, I felt, thought that I was considering Microsoft to be a better option, and IBM is my second this
Second
thing.
option.
Like, IBM is not something I'm very very passionate about. So the other person on the other side was able to realize it, and very late in life, when I was on his role as an interviewer, when I
Mm-hmm.
met somebody who has a Google offer and is interviewing in Microsoft, I know that this person, and I knew from somebody else that this person already has an offer in Google, but he's just going through the motion of going through interview with us. And that person on the other side handled it in a very different way. He didn't he realized soon that I might not join IBM, and but while giving the offer, he said, there you can learn things from many different in many different fields. It's not like today you join Microsoft, so you there is no other company in the world that can give you in 10 years the same amount of knowledge. No, there are other places. So, and everybody has a choice at every point in time. So I realized he was telling these things because he might have gone through something similar, a mental challenge. And once he had made a decision, he stayed with IBM for 25 years, because at 25 years ago he was in the same conundrum. He was a good student, he had a lot of options. Now he was like, okay, who should get my this thing, my loyalty, who amongst these is deserving of my loyalty? And then when he picked somebody and he said, okay, the, you could do good anywhere or everywhere on the planet, choose one thing and stay focused. So that was his idea, and that's why I have always worked for long number of years. Like in Synopsys I spent 7 years, Microsoft 11 years, here too I plan to at least spend 5 years. So that person, it was a very mature discussion. For him, I asked him, what do you like about working in IBM? Imagine in 2004 somebody is telling you that, you know what, Parag, I love my family, and IBM allows me to love my family more. It gives me a good job. I might not be getting the highest possible salary package, but I am happy because I'm technically having a challenging job that is fulfilling me, and I always wanted to do that. But it also provides me good enough time to spend with my family. So his priorities were very very defined, and I
Yeah.
wanted to be as confident as this person, because
Mm.
at that point in time it was a crazy outreach. Can I do this, can I do that, can I do this? And thank god in those days you don't did not have too many successful startup founders in 2004. Everybody wanted to
Yeah.
be
Get a
today a
job.
kid is even more confused. A 21-year-old today has simply no idea. There are just so many people to look up to. Somebody is a very good YouTube content creator. Somebody is very good at this thing, starting companies after companies.
Starting
Somebody
companies,
is,
yeah.
going into Wharton and Harvard for their MBA. Somebody is
MBAs, yeah.
essentially, yeah. So um, now a kid has so many more options. So I can only say that um, it's you have to choose one thing, like the person in IBM said, because if you are a smart guy, there will always be options for you. You cannot just spend 1 year everywhere and dilute yourself. You
Yeah,
need to basically build something on top of that. So Tendulkar was very good. He was an all-round cricketer, right? He was the only batsman who could basically perfect every shot in the book. But even then, he used to put in hard work. So during the initial days of IPL, they said he used to insist that the match should be over by 10, 10, 15, so that he can go to sleep at 10:30, whereas everybody else was going to the after IPL party. So Tendulkar, imagine being talented and then not focusing is such a waste. Whereas he was talented and then focused. So I think that IBM person meant that. I forget his name, who came so 20 years ago. But if I ever get a chance to meet him, I'll tell him that that is very important. You have to choose something and stay with it.